in perfect harmony.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Unity Chapel of Light. Well, prayer is about feeling the drum beats of your heart, because it's really about, through prayer, we give love and we receive it. So through prayer, we receive love, and through miracles, love is expressed. So what prayer is all about is receiving love, and then as we express it, we find that we have miracles in our lives. So prayer is a very important thing in Unity. In fact, Unity was based on prayer. It was the healing of Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founder, that started the whole movement. And so prayer is the cornerstone of Unity. And since today is prayer is the cornerstone of Unity, today we're going to dedicate 4 chaplains to the service of prayer. And so I thought that for those of you who aren't completely sure what Unity prayer is like, I would give you some steps in having very effective prayer. And the first one, of course, as you notice on Sunday when we have our meditation, is to connect with the presence. So the first one is we have to recognize that there is more to life than just us, more to life than just our bodies. So we begin by recognizing that presence. You could say there's only one presence and one power. You could just be quiet and feel your oneness with that energy, whatever it takes. Yesterday at the memorial service, there were 2 flutists who was so incredible. And I was sitting up here and I closed my eyes while they were playing, and I almost left. It was so powerful to go into the silence. I had to immediately say, no, you can't do that here. And wake up and be here. But it was so easy for me to just go into the silence. So that's the first thing we do. We try to relax and just feel the presence moving through us and go in. Once you're used to doing that, you could do it in a public bathroom. You can do it anywhere. You don't need incredible flutists to send you there. You could just sit someplace quietly and feel your connection with the presence. In Unity, we like to think of it as thinking prayer, as thinking from the highest point of view. So before we start thinking from the highest point of view, we go into that wonderful presence and allow Spirit to think through us. And then, of course, it becomes thinking from the highest point of view. And then, once we're there, now we're ready to speak our truth, whatever it happens to be. And affirm whatever it is that you need to affirm. Remember that since you are the place in the world where God shows up as you don't have to plead and beg. You just affirm. You say the truth of who you are, because the truth of who you are is that you are whole, that you are prosperous, that you are loving, that you have loving relationships, that you have the right job, that you have whatever it is you need in your life. That's the honest truth about you. Sometimes it's so deep that we don't know how to feel it, but it's there. So the first thing you do then is to affirm the good that you want. And speaking of prayer, the late, great Unity minister and author Eric Butterworth says, "The results of prayer may be humanly astounding, but they merely demonstrate the art of unifying ourselves with the creative source of all good." So that's what prayer is, unifying with the creative source of all good. And then he goes on to say, prayer is not a way to turn on the light in God, but to turn on the light in you. Because God is the light, and God is in you. And so prayer is about waking up to who you really are. And so that's the very first step. Acknowledge the light so that you can then become one with it. The second step is then, after you acknowledge it, you go into the silence and you feel your connection with whatever it is that you call God or that you feel is God in you. And then the third step is affirmation. Then affirm, once you're at one and you're really there and you feel that, then you're ready to begin affirming whatever it is that you want to see in your life. You know, the Lord's Prayer was really a series of affirmations. That's really how Unity believes Jesus meant that prayer to be. But so that he could give us a frame of reference on how to pray. But unfortunately, the translators could not understand the concept of affirmation. So they made it a prayer of supplication. And so today I want to give you a little idea of what it would sound like, or how we translate it when we hear it. Because we sing the Lord's Prayer, but in our minds, this is how we translate it in Unity. First of all, the line of the Lord's Prayer that says, "Give us this day our daily bread." We translate it from a supplication to an affirmation like this: "With God's presence expressing as me, I claim my divine abundance now. Give us this day our daily bread." And so many Unity people don't like don't like to hear the original prayers because they're not really what we believe. But what we do is love the energy behind a prayer that has been said for thousands of years, and then translate it in our own minds as an affirmation rather than a supplication. And know that with God's presence expressing as you can claim your divine inheritance. You can have all the abundance that you need in your life. And what about forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors? If you're looking at that as an affirmation, you would say, God is the love in which I forgive. And as I forgive, I am forgiven. And so it becomes an affirmation of God in you expressing the power that you really have. So the next time you pray and you're feeling a little guilty, or you're feeling depressed, or you're feeling jealous, or you're feeling judgmental, all those human feelings, and you really want to see things differently when you pray, rather than pleading, "Oh, please, God, help me to see things differently," try this. With your help, dear God, I am determined to see this differently. I am determined. I know I can do this. I may need your help, but I'm open to that help, and I'm determined to see it differently. And if you need abundance, rather than begging God to help you with that car payment or the rent, you can instead affirm all my needs, including this car payment, including the rent, are abundantly supplied. Why? Because I am the place in which God shows up in the world. So everything I need, all my needs, are abundantly supplied. And last, but by no means least, if you have a healing need, rather than pleading, "Oh, please, God, help me, take this pain away," then affirm, "I am healed, whole, and healthy. Thank you, God. I am healed, whole, and healthy." And don't allow thought, we call that collective thought, to pull you in, because people say, "Oh, the cold is going around now. Did you know that?" So what we do is we open ourselves to it and say, "Come get me," because it's going around. Instead, you affirm, "I am whole, and I am healthy, and God is expressing through me as wholeness, and I don't get that kind of thing. I'm not open to that. So therefore, it doesn't come to you." And I guarantee you that if you do that, and it does come to you because there's a little part of you that's still open to it, it'll go away quickly if you just say your affirmations. And of course, since Jesus always said thank you before the fact, he knew, he had such a trust that God was working through him, that whatever it was that he even prayed about, he said thank you first. So number 4 is always say thank you. End your prayer by saying, "Thank you, God. I know this is so." Or "So it is, thank you, God." And then move to the very last one, which is your closing. Close however you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable saying, "In the name of the Christ presence in me," say that. If you feel comfortable just saying it, "So it is, and so I let it be," say that. The closing is up to you. You know, the closing in the Lord's Prayer was not his words. It was put on there by the church. So you don't have to have the closing that's in the Lord's Prayer. You can just have your own closing, however it is. And know that your prayer will be effective, and it will lift you to a place where good things just naturally find you. They know your face. They just do. And to a place where you are above any misperceptions. So if someone's saying bad things about you, they can't hurt you because you've got like a little bubble around you and you are lifted above any misperceptions. And you are unlimited in beyond space and time with strength and power to do whatever you need to do. And so it is.
Let peace begin with